Anyway, I'll try to give her some milk and I'll be back.
So,
For like shopping and deliveries and free time activity.
okay, we're gonna reset. Just don't be right around the camera. Okay? Interruptions we
We
went
had
through.
like 15 interruptions here already, having all kinds of kids come here with all kinds of things that don't need immediate attention.
No. If I do this whole thing on my own, I'll just start putting like a box over here. Let me get him. All right.
House, because everything would get moldy within just, oh, you got it.
Why don't you take that and go get drunk somewhere else. There you go.
You know, like the airport is all concrete. I have to go get the baby that
First
woke up
interruption that we knew would happen. We thought we'd get more time, but
in Europe, you know.
you got to get something in her mouth. Give her some food.
Okay. And, you know, like a good old days.
Let's try again.
Like from the beginning?
Yeah, because we've already lost train of thought. We don't remember.
We have to say that we were trying it again because we lost what, you know, we said. With the interruptions we constantly have here, you were actually mentioning that it feels like the movie. What's the name of the movie?
Yeah, Uncut Gems.
You're so unenthusiastic.
After getting back from a 5-week trip in Europe that we went on, when we got back to Panama, we were ecstatic to be home, and then started noticing a few things that really, with a fresh pair of eyes, we could really begin to appreciate more about Panama that we maybe didn't notice so much the last year or so being here.
Yeah. It felt nice to go back to Europe where I grew up. I spent most of my life over there. But I have to say that after coming back here, I realized that I like being in Panama much more right now than being over there. Life just feels so much heavier and, you know, a little bit more disconnected in the Western countries. Whereas here, it seems like everybody is having a good time at all times and enjoying their life, and it just feels very light and fresh. Mm-hmm. Life is great in Panama.
Yeah, and obviously the warmer weather has something to do with that, you know, keeps everything a little more hang loose, you know, a little more better vibe, and easygoing, of course.
Yeah, for sure. And the weather has been fantastic since we came back. We didn't even have one like super hot day. Mm-hmm. It has been just a perfect temperature. You don't feel cold, you don't feel too hot, you just feel great. And the air is humid enough, but not too damp. So it feels like it's just hugging your skin. It's just really nice.
Yeah, 1 month so far, 1 month of just perfect weather every day has almost been hard to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of days where it got a little bit warm, but it was still really enjoyable. And actually, it was a nice break from the days that have been a little bit cooler. So it's kind of like, right when you want it to be a little warmer, it got warmer. Right when you want it to get a little cooler, it got cooler.
Yeah, and compared to last year, it hasn't been raining that much. Last year was quite extreme from what we've heard, because we haven't been living here like for decades. And it's just very enjoyable. Like, mm-hmm. I thought we would like the dry season more, but this is like super nice.
Yeah, and I remember in the dry season thinking, this is super nice. Maybe I like the dry season more. So I don't know. All we've known so far is that September has been a beautiful month.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we spent the whole August and a little bit of July over in Eastern Europe, and the weather has been already shifting from summer into a little bit autumn, so the mornings and evenings had been pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the weather was great while we were there in Europe, but the last week or so, it started to be the end of summer. You could feel that shift was starting to happen, and just the slight cooler temperatures by the end of 1 week started to already kind of get me excited for returning to Panama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then you were not so happy when we got out of the airport, right?
No, first impression, right, when I got out of the airport was
it was hit.
hot and humid, and immediately broke into a sweat. And we realize that's likely just because of being in the concrete jungle of the airport and the city and having just come from 16 or so hours of air conditioning.
Yeah.
Also, lugging all the baggage already kind of started to heat me up.
Yeah, I mean, as a family of 6, even if you want to travel light, it's not possible. So you
Yeah.
always have to be lugging some stuff around.
But as soon as we got back out of the city and out to the country here in our home, the temperatures had already dropped. It felt a little less oppressive and was already back to feeling enjoyable.
Yeah, it felt great. And I finally had the first good night of sleep after those 5 weeks in Europe, because over there, right, it's mostly you use air conditioning if it gets a little bit hot, because maybe the house wouldn't air out enough.
Yeah.
And the drier air wasn't that much enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, we really have, you got to learn to love the humidity, you know, and in its variations of temperature. But we have noticed that, yeah, the humidity feels kind of like a nice comforting blanket over your body and skin. So we like that.
Yeah.
We also couldn't leave our windows open really overnight while there in Europe because we had actually so many mosquitoes. And that was surprising to us because we previously were living in Nevada in the desert, very dry air, so there were zero. Probably one of the few type of
no bugs, no mosquitoes,
locations
nothing.
where you can have that. But it was a quick reminder that, yeah, good weather in any of these other zones that have, or areas that have a lot of vegetation, you're going to have a bunch of mosquitoes. And there were lots. I think we experienced more there.
Yeah, definitely.
During that time than we've experienced here.
And they always got into the house, so you would have to wake up in the night and try to just kill them because they would be buzzing. But we noticed, of course, they're a different type of mosquitoes, so they were easier to catch because they were more clumsy.
Yeah.
Just floating around, kind of like bumbling around.
They were like not very effective hunters, these mosquitoes. They were like bumbling doofus predator mosquitoes. They're actually different. They're like brown and like longer body and just kind of, they fly into your face and not even, but these ones here, they're like little tigers. They're stealthy. Even if I'm sitting there staring at my legs waiting for it, it somehow gets me 5 times. I don't even see it. They're a different breed altogether.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, another thing that really jumped out at us after returning was immediately being welcomed back with greetings and smiles. Just not from strangers, not people we know, just from the local Panamanians.
Yeah, just a casual encounter during the day. And that's really nice because I think in the Western world, like, people are a little bit more disconnected. Mostly everybody, I feel like, it's stuck on their screens and maybe inside their houses. Whereas here, you know, the Panamanian houses in the countryside are open and people are more out and about.
They're stuck on their screens outside of their houses.
Well, yeah, we see it more and more. That's true.
Anyway,
for sure. So yeah, and it's very family oriented here. Like, we always have somebody stop by to like talk to the girls and call them princesses, right? And give them compliments. Everybody
stop by when we're like grocery shopping or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody's happy to see a family.
How did that compare to Europe?
Well, I felt like many times people were annoyed by little children there. I mean, I'm not saying they don't like little kids, but it seemed like, you know, it's like in the way, like people would be impatient or would get annoyed if like a child would be touching something in the store. And you know, it definitely wasn't like that much like, oh, little children, you know, how sweet.
Whereas, yeah, we feel like, I'd say 90% of the time, when the locals see the children in the stores or just out and about, there's always a recognition and appreciation and smiles and just really watching and you know, and appreciating the small children. Where in Europe, I mean, and this was in both cities and outside of the city, it just felt like, yeah, the children were ignored.
Like, I feel like we were ignored too. It's people avoid eye contact. I mean, maybe,
and they ignore each other. It's not really,
Everybody is just like doing their own thing and pretending nobody else is there. Like they don't really pay attention or acknowledge anybody. Like I would be walking on the street with the girls. I meet some other mom with kids, and I'm kind of used to like acknowledging each other, but they would be just like pointing their side away and like avoiding the eye contact or any kind of contact. And it's because I realized the culture over there in East is very formal, and it is really like if somebody is a stranger, you don't talk to the stranger, you don't interact with them, so it's very removed in some ways. Of course, when you become friends, it can be very warm feeling, but just on the street, you almost feel invisible, or in the stores or anywhere, just like it can feel like you're really alone.
Yeah, and that's really a big thing, when it comes to quality of life, is this feeling of separation from the other people that are there in your world with you. And whether you are going out daily in whatever, errands you need to run, feeling connected to people or disconnected, that little difference really kind of can determine quality of life.
Yeah. Like even in the store, like, we go to some places regularly and people already remember us, know us, we know their names, each other's names. So it's a very nice interaction. Whereas over there, it's like I could be going to the same store every day and the cashier still pretends like they've never seen me before.
It does depend on the individual, of course, but the interesting case for this is even if we attempted to be this way over there, you're still met with, as Sylvie
like
said,
a wall of resistance.
Yeah, she tried. She made efforts to make eye contact, or
I made it as an experiment. I really tried about 50 times for 50 different people. Each of them, when our eyes met, they turned away.
You have to really make an effort to connect with somebody, and then they might be more.
Yeah, and it's not a criticism because I'm European too. It's just observation how things are. But it has not been like that in the States. It's
States are, if it were levels, Europe would be here, then the States would be a little less of that, and then Panama here is a little less of that. Mm-hmm. So, it's just, less of the minding your own business sort of attitude.
Yeah. So, Panamanians are nice, open, relaxed. We don't always experience that on the road, right?
Yeah, I mean like driving?
Like driving,
Yeah, driving is another thing we noticed it's different, is that passing lane is always open because everybody follows the rules on the passing lane, the left and the right lanes. And over here, your passing lane is just another lane.
Like yesterday, we just got stuck, because a truck and a car.
So many times you'll get the two lanes blocked because the person in the passing lane is going the same speed, and it's quite common.
Yeah.
But it's not a big deal because, again, easy, chill lifestyle. Okay, we got her ready to interrupt us for the...
What take is it?
This really might be the 7th time we've tried making this video.
So let me go get the baby.
In the culture, a little bit more of a traditional culture. Again, we've mentioned that was one of the reasons we wanted to move to Panama. But in that traditional culture, men are more willing to help women, with less hesitation than you might find in the Western countries. And that hesitation, as we've already seen, kind of analyzed, is due to many factors of, probably factors of men don't want to offend women or disempower them or accidentally have it come off as hitting on them and all these sort of things. But here in Panama, it's still very traditional, I think, in the way the men... I think they'd be more willing to open a car door or something like that. Or,
you also noticed people wouldn't talk to women?
That's another, yes. So I noticed, especially too, when we'd be out, Sylvie and I together, like in the hardware store or something, and we had a question about something to a male employee, and we're both standing there together. Even if Sylvie asks the question, he's going to talk to me, and he's looking at me out of like respect that, he's not talking to my woman or something like that. And it's just kind of an interesting observation. And I think these are admirable traits, and I think that's why we've also heard stories of people getting in bar fights or over another man's woman, and a lot of times a machete gets involved and people get put in jail. So I think it's taken very seriously here about, boundaries within you and somebody else's, relationship. So Sylvia has a story, though, about what she noticed about being helped by men. And here she comes. Hopefully we've got a moment with that baby again.
I gave her sparkling water. She likes the fizz. Yeah, before we took on the trip, we had to go to the immigration offices here to finalize the residency process. And, we, of course, brought all of our girls with us because, they're with us everywhere we go. And we needed to go down to the lower level. And Brian was helping the other girls, other daughters. And within just like a second or two, I had like 3 or 4 men jumping in to offer help with the stroller going down the stairs. And contrary to that, I experienced something very different in Czech Republic, where I was also just by myself with the stroller, and I needed to go up like maybe 20, 30 stairs. And there were a bunch of people standing there, maybe 20 men looking at me, and nobody offered help until maybe like, a minute later, somebody asked if I need to go up the stairs to help me. So, it wasn't like as automatic. It's not a big deal. It's just
these are the little things,
differences.
But but we've noticed it. It's been multiple times here in Panama, not just that one time at the immigration
Every
office.
single time.
Whether it was walking in Casco Viejo and he needed the stroller help up a curb, men jump at the opportunity to help. Yeah. And that's really it's kind of like we keep mentioning, and other people have too, about Panama feeling like the good old days.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that, and we were reminded of that when we got back.
Yes, for sure.
The food was something else we noticed a difference between Europe and Panama. The food was actually cheaper in Eastern Europe.
Mm-hmm. Quite cheaper. And we hear that from Germany too, that, it's more expensive compared to that. And
cheaper and almost better quality, especially on the meat that we like.
Yeah, and other products too. Like, for instance, for a gallon of milk, a normal milk here, you will pay the same money over there in Eastern Europe, but the milk would be grass-fed and organic. So, it's quite a lot different. Certain products would cost only a quarter of price over there than here. So for us, we definitely spend more money on food here than we would spend over living in Eastern Europe, like Slovakia, Czech Republic,
for that
Hungary,
price,
Austria.
Yeah, for that price, difference, we're also saving on the housing and,
utilities.
And housing, especially in location, is something as big as like a beach.
Yeah. And like electricity, gas, the utilities are much cheaper here. Gas is cheaper.
Okay, here she is, our guest who is uninvited, but always here. And every single one of our takes, every single attempt on the video, she makes it in. She really wants to be here.
Yes, she's waving. She can wave to the camera, maybe.
She really wants to be here to say hi to you.
Yeah, she said, yeah, okay.
All right, and so another thing that we noticed, obviously, is Europe. And this could even be compared to the United States, too. But, of course, the pedestrian zones, the city centers, are very enjoyable for walking around. And that's something we really miss, But Casco Viejo is a similar experience, as it has little squares that have, you can kind of walk around them without the cars. But it's still, you're on sidewalks most of the time, and you're having to avoid the traffic. But the traffic is slow moving.
Yeah,
and
just a one lane,
It feels mostly, it's very much like a pedestrian zone. But we noticed that overall, though, we enjoy the vibe is still better in Casco Viejo than the city centers in Prague or Bratislava that were, even during the summertime, which is the best vibe time in Europe. Going,
It's more vibrant, more alive. Again, people more open to connect. It feels good being there, for sure.
They did have some really nice, don't get me wrong, it was a wonderful time in the city center in Bratislava because it's still a small enough city center, but you have things going on, you know, lots of restaurants and coffee shops, and we saw like a little like the outdoor stage with a jazz performance, which was really nice, and things like that. But it's the vibe in general, the people that are there with you. It feels still more connected here in Panama.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
Yeah. What else did we notice? I mean, just in general, it's always a feeling of more freedom being back here in Panama. Less regulation, just things feeling more free, you know? You feel more free, like you can do whatever you want. Like, you can pull over here, pull over there, walk up here, say hi. It just kind of feels like less constricted, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Also, life feels so much more busier there. I mean, even like out of the cities, I feel like people have like too many things to do. They're too busy, too much occupied with everything, and too many problems to deal with.
There's a lot of emphasis on, you know, that old mindset of getting things done every day. You have to get the things done, and then, you know, without taking time to smell the roses. And that's really a good way to say it. Here in Panama, it feels like everybody takes time to smell the roses. You know, and that's like another important, you know, factor in the quality of life.
Yeah. So it's like the good and old days. I don't know if we mentioned it in this take because I'm losing, I'm no longer aware of what we said this time or not.
Yeah.
But in many, many ways, it feels like, you know, back in the 80s or 90s in Europe, or it reminds me a lot like Spain, maybe in the 90s, you know, where it was like what it was becoming in those days.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, we've been really happy to be back. And honestly, the longer we stay here and the more we keep kind of exploring the little nooks and crannies of places that at one point we only drove past on the highway, and you get out a little bit more to explore, and, you know, and now after a year and a half,
Okay.
also our bodies get more used to mosquito bites and things like that, so they're not as you're not as affected by it.
Yeah, if they bite and it goes away, you know, like immediately.
Yeah.
Whereas at first it would last maybe like 10 days.
Yeah, so now
And we don't have that many mosquitoes anymore because we found a good trap that works great.
and we can link that in the description, the trap.
All right, let me take the baby. To conclude, it definitely feels great to be back in Panama. I think this is the perfect place for us to be right now. And yes, we're enjoying being here, looking forward to the holidays, to the dry season, and everything. So,
And that's it. We got a ticking time bomb here again, so we got to go.
it's just
So,
everything. At
Here
the
we
same
go. We
time.
got our
Just-
we got our first star coming.
Watch the movie and you'll
It's
see.
Yeah. Oh, very nice. Okay.
Let's put it on. Alright. Możesz iść. Okay. Alright, I guess she'll stay for a minute.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
Not
Oh, I
for
don't want
Daddy,
it.
not
Okay,
for
thank
Daddy.
you.
Okay.
Okay. There you go.
It's just what you're seeing is a version of us that is constantly under stress at all times. I mean, if you saw the other version, the other side of us, you know, I could be leading guided meditations and such. There's a mosquito here. Let me get him. All right. And we're here on our lanai.
Yeah, just
And
thought to make a quick
A
video.
little different, and we will have guests probably coming in and out of our video the entire time because that's how it is in a family of 6.
Okay. Rolling up, what is that, cat?
Why don't you take that and go
Okay,
get drunk somewhere else? There you go. Uh-huh.
OK, baby. Belinka, choď si tam
OK.
sadkať, dobre? Choď tam ďalej, zlatičko. Tak. Choď za sestrami, dobre? Go see your sisters.
If I do this whole thing on my own, I'll just start putting like a box over here, like a little mini box, and I'll just start putting like images and videos right here the entire time I speak, like I'm on a news set.
Focus. You say you can focus. She's not being a distraction anymore. I'll give her a cookie, if anything.
Okay. And we're pretty much getting all the same conveniences, maybe with just a day or two later of a wait.
Yeah.
And so this is starting to be not so much a difference anymore.
Yeah. I'll get the
Okay,
baby.
all right.
And we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
Naninka môže prísť
There you
tiež, keď
go.
chce.
There you go. Okay. That's funny. Very nice. And what is this you have here? Is this your Halloween outfit?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone else coming?